Good morning. This is Andrew from My Investor Place. My Investor's Place is a social network website that investors can get together, chat, discuss current events, such as, which I want to discuss now, is about this $700 billion plan to save the economy, save the world economy. Post your blog, join the forums. We're in beta. We're just starting. I encourage you to join us and to grow with us. What I'd like to talk to you about this morning is about Henry Paulson's plan to save he says the U.S. economy. Actually, it's the world economy. And really, in simple terms, it's print and tax. That's what we're really talking about. And it's almost a bottomless pit where all the other initiatives haven't even come into the context. We're talking Fannie Mae, I'm talking AIG. They're black holes. I mean, these are calls to save the economy. And then we as smart people, we need to think a little bit and understand what's happening. And just by accepting this initiative, I'm not saying to accept it nor not accept it. Let me just clarify that. I'm just saying that we need to know all the ideas and learn more before we just go with it. The fact of the matter is that by accepting this initiative, that basically every American man, woman, and child will be obligated to pay $37,000. It's not going to just be us and our children, it's going to be our grandchildren to pay this. And then put it into another simple context, the median income for the U.S. is $53,000. So now we're talking 73% of the median U.S. salary just for this initiative. I mean, what about living? What about household expenses? What about anything? You know, it's really unbelievable. We're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. And then it leaves many to question, myself. We followed so silently when we were told about Iraq and weapons of mass destruction. Well, too many billions of dollars, and I think more importantly, all too many young lives were destroyed to find out this really wasn't the case. Again, I would say I'm bipartisan. I don't know who I'm going to vote for yet, but I respect what Obama said, that it's really not the point to find out whose fault, but the important thing is to resolve the crisis. And I respect what McCain has done is by saying, I don't need to get paid now. We need to figure out how to solve this problem. So I respect that, but it's sadly evident that this crisis is only going to be solved by two ways. One is that we, the taxpayers, are going to be taxed to tremendous degrees, and then the Fed is going to print money. And either way, we have some bad situations here. By printing money, what's going to happen is our dollars are going to become worth less, and inflation is going to become rampant, which is going to make us even in a worse situation. Again, are we wrong to complain? Shouldn't we have caught this before when banks were lending to people that couldn't pay them back, or lending to a speculator who was going to sell it to another investor? I mean, where's the logic? Or isn't it our responsibility when a company was going to buy another company and overpay for that company with the thought of selling it to somebody else? I mean, come on, were we sleeping also? So, the bottom line is we're in a very bad situation right now. So really, how many of us paid our mortgages on time? How many of us lived within our budget? How many of us paid our taxes? Now we're faced with one of the worst economic situations, not just in our lifetime, but maybe since the Depression in 1929. All due to greed, and honestly what I think is government waste. If we ran our households or our businesses as the government has done, we'd be in the poorhouse. I mean, we can't keep on running up deficits. And then when I listen to all these speeches, it doesn't make me feel secure. It makes me believe that the government themselves really don't know what's going on and what to do. And they're making it up and changing the rules. I mean, one simple idea is that one day it's not allowed at all to short sell, and then the next day under certain conditions. Or another very disheartening fact is that the CEO of BlackRock, they're managing about $1.4 trillion, Lawrence Fink, he's a very big supporter of Paulson's plan and the bailout, but you have to take everything into context. And that's why I have in My Investor's Place as a forum that we can talk about these things. But Mr. Fink was a pioneer back in the 80s of these mortgage-backed securities. And some people even blame him, or he could be blamed for this mess started with him. But more interesting, now BlackRock is going in and buying these distressed debt. They acquired $15 billion in mortgage funds from UBS in the spring. And then also BlackRock was picked in the spring by the Fed to manage about $30 million from Bear Stearns. I mean, Come on, these are very interesting coincidences. Earlier in the article, I wrote it also, this video, I mentioned, I said the economy. I'm talking about the world economy here. We're all in this together. I mean, this is spreading all over the place. I mean, so many colleagues thought that the BRICS would hold up, and then there would be decoupling, and they'd be spared from the meltdown. Well, all one has to do is look at the Indian or the Russian stock markets, or even their economy and all the inflations. You know, inflations and panics really know no borders. Even today, this morning, I mean, I'm up very early, there was a run on a Hong Kong bank. You know, the reason was supposedly that they had a manipulation on their derivatives. And then people ran to the bank, and the government of Hong Kong infused $500 million to ease the situation and restore calm. But, you know what? Where's the calm? You know, only time will tell if the true crisis, you know, is going to be resolved. And then even last night, Bush stated last night, without immediate action, Congress will, by Congress, that America will slip into a financial panic and a distressing financial scenario would unfold. Well, guess what, Mr. Bush? We're already in a financial panic. You know, a simple question that myself and I'm sure so many others have is, where were the regulators when the banks were lending to people that could never pay them back? Where were the regulators regulating companies or banks, you know, when they were buying other companies at ridiculous multiples and taking out these ridiculous loans? I mean, why? 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 Why are we in such a terrible situation? This is Andrew Abraham from My Investor's Place. My Investor Place is a social network for investors where we can discuss ideas. I encourage you to come, join us, ask your questions, express your anger, express your frustration. I think that's what I've been doing. Again, thank you and have a wonderful day.